Hello and welcome to the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast, Season 2, Episode 1, Corey.
I can't believe it's already been a full season.
It's been a full year. And we're only a couple months away from puck drop.
Ooh, I am salivating. I cannot wait. I really can't. I miss hockey. I miss the fans. I miss the teams. I miss you.
I saw you 2 days ago.
Still miss you,
It's been a good summer so far, though.
Absolutely. We had really good fun. Haven't been to hockey because there is none, but did a few wrestling shows and did a speedway thing. I know cars.
Yeah. Corey looked like a duck out of water at the Shediac International. What is it? Sorry, Shediac Centre for Speed.
Center for Speed, yeah.
Corey looked like a duck out of water, man. It was unreal. He at one point. It's a demolition derby, and I knew exactly what to expect, and I loved it. I had a blast. At one point, I look over at Corey, and he's just like zoning out into the far distance. And like I was like, "Did you have fun?" He's like, "Yeah, I had a lot of fun." Would you do it again? He goes, "I don't know, maybe." It was fun. We had a lot of fun.
We had fun. We had a lot of fun.
It's not your thing. Racing's not your thing, but the people were amazing.
The people were amazing.
We had a blast. Everybody was laughing, having fun.
Yeah.
The next day we did some wrestling stuff. That was amazing. That was a lot of fun. Downtown Wrestling. Shout out to those guys.
Shout out to them. A big thank you to Ryan Freed and Sophie Marie for letting us give a helping hand. And big thanks to all the wrestlers they didn't have to be kind to us, but they were pretty much all kind to us. Really good show. Just, downtown wrestling. If they're in the area, if you're able to go to the Toothy Moose, I'm telling you, this show is amazing. Ryan Freed is a hell of a booker. Sophie Marie is a hell of a booker. And their champion, Justin Newhook, just might be one of the best in the Maritimes ever.
Yeah, he's it was really great time. My first time doing photography for wrestling, and it was so much fun. Mm-hmm. So shout out to them. Thanks for doing that. That was it was a fun weekend. Got to spend a lot of time with you, which is always a good time.
Always.
But then now we're back to some BSHL. A lot of announcements. I'm excited. Let's start off by announcing the new signings for this week.
Yep.
So the first signing, we don't remember if we announced this last week, but if we did, he's good enough. He gets announced twice. What are you going to do?
There you go.
Tommy Bezo is back with he signed with L'École Salle du Péninsule Acadien. It's hard to not say back because it's kind of, he's back.
It's an amalgamation of both teams, so why not?
Happy with that signing? Happy to see him back, Corey?
Absolutely. The Bezos were pretty much the face of La Marchand along with our good old buddy Patrick Jones. I don't know. I think Les Corsaires de la Péninsule Acadienne are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I completely agree with you. They're a scary team.
I can't wait to see them on the ice. I can't wait. I really can't wait for hockey.
So we have a junior A signing for Bouctouche. Alexandre Jacob is signing. He's from Capelé. Played with the Blizzards and the Ramblers. Should be a big signing for the JCs, honestly.
Yeah. The JCs are a team. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing all the teams, and we are going to get to our season previews in the coming weeks. The JCs are one of those teams that intrigue me more than the rest because I don't know that they had a pretty poor year last year, and not their fault. They lost a lot of key players from the year prior. I don't know. They're making these. They're heading in the right direction, and I want to see where they go.
I agree. I think an interesting team, a young team, but I think they're going to surprise a lot of people.
I think so too.
The next signing, the Cossa once again, signing from the track of the Alpines, Jeremy Duguay. Mm-hmm. We've got a bunch of returning players for Les Cossa. Next, we have Jean-Samuel Lagacé, signing with the Cossa from the Marauders. These are all, solid players. The depth that Les Cossa are going to have this year is really something else.
Mm-hmm. It might be one of the deepest team in the league.
Yeah, I agree. The next signing is David Bosk from the Tracadie Alpines. He's a defenseman, formerly with Tracadie. Then we get into this week. We've got some big signings by the Cossard. Frédéric Landry, really an impact player, formerly of the Marchand. Frederick is a noticeable guy on the ice.
Absolutely.
I think he had a letter. I think he wore the A for the Cossard. So it's another big signing for them.
For the Marchand.
He wore it for the Marchand. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll have a letter. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of leadership with Les Cossards, so it's going to be difficult.
Oh, yes.
Next up, we have Jeremy LeBlanc returning to the Marauders.
That's a pretty cool one, I think.
Yeah, a big signing. He's a guy who works his butt off, and I think that's the kind of guy that you need, especially come playoffs.
Absolutely.
Those guys make a big difference. Let's skip the next one for 1 second. We'll go to Amherst's most recent signing. We have Jordan Wenzel, formerly of the Spring Hill Coal Miners, signing with the Amherst Senior Hockey Club, still unnamed. Amherst has the most players signed right now. I think they have 16 guys announced.
Okay.
Followed by, I'll get into that in a second, but Amherst just continually announcing guys. And you can kind of figure out a couple guys that are missing that are probably going to be announced soon. So
yes,
we pretty well know what that Amherst team's probably going to look like. And they're kind of scary.
Yeah, that's another deep team. That's why I can't wait for the season to start. There's an old saying, they look good on paper. They really look good on paper. What are they going to look like on the ice? I have no doubts that these teams will look fantastic. But until you see the play, it's good, looking good on paper. And I want to see what they have to do. That's why I want this season to get started.
The next signing by the Cossard, Nicolas Richard, who in 18 games last year had 28 points. Solid player. Continuing the announcements, now with the Cossard coming in with some big announcements. Luc Williams, formerly with the JCs, now with the Marchand, another guy who had a letter for the Marchand, I believe, almost positive. He signs with Les Cossards as well. No surprise. You knew that he was coming back, but man, what an impact player he is.
Absolutely. Someone that was also noticeable on the ice.
What the JCs wouldn't give to have him in Bactouche. He's just that guy. He's an impact player, but he's a great signing by the Cossards.
Yep.
Next signings, one of my favorite players last year, Dallin Bulger. I don't know. Correct me, Dallin. I do not mind. Super nice guy. Remember chatting with him after one of the playoff games. Such a nice kid. Comes from PEI. That fight that he had with Trey Lewis, not somebody to mess with. One of the best fights last year.
Yep, absolutely.
I shared it. Just, man, that guy is the guy who's going to stand up for his teammates. He can score some goals. He lays some hits. I was a big fan of him last year, and I'm happy they're re-signing him. I believe he, too, is a Junior A player, and that would be their first Junior A card that they announce. But the next announcement is the big one. Tracadie announces, that's going to take some time, folks.
It's going to take some time.
Les Cossards du Péninsule Acadienne are signing Danny Chiasson using their import card. I mean, you want to talk about an impact player? Danny is a beast out there. And Les Cossards at this point have a ton of their roster signed. A lot of guys returning. Most of the guys are from the peninsula. What do you think about this team, Corey?
Geez. It's like I said earlier.
Can they win the cup?
Of course they can. I think any of the 6 teams has a good chance of winning the cup. I think Bactouche is a very young team, but like you said, I think they can surprise some people. And any of these teams look really good on paper. Let's see what they look like on the ice.
That's fair. Let's see what the shipping and Tracadie chemistry looks like.
That's interesting to me. That's interesting to me because that was a brutal, bitter rivalry.
Yeah.
So, is there still bad blood? Is it water under the bridge? Who knows? Let's see.
I think they haven't announced, I don't think, any goalies yet. But, man, that's going to be a battle on that team. There's some solid goalies out there.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to Trackety for a game or to Shippigan for a game. I think they're going to go back and forth one each weekend. So we'll try to get to a game in Shippigan, a game in Trackety. We'll be everywhere. We can't wait for it. But, man, it's just a couple of months away. Hopefully we see the schedule announced soon. Last year was announced around the 20th of August. I was on my way back from Quebec City, from WWE Raw when it was announced. I'll never forget it. So I know when they announced that damn schedule. Man, I panicked. Oh, God. Anyway, I was chatting earlier today with Ricky, and he sends me this list that he's kept, just a master list of every signing from every team in the league. Wow. Ricky is the best. So the JCs right now have 15 players signed. The Peninsula has, I think, 12. And like I said, Amherst has 16. Those are the leading teams for signings. So you really, get a good vision of what that team's going to look like. I think Dalhousie has somewhere in the neighborhood of 10. Miramichi only has 4 or 5. The Hawks have 4. How cool is it that teams have so many people announced, you can virtually see the roster building itself out almost completely.
Yeah.
And we're only August 7th.
I think it shows how much senior hockey means to the Maritimes.
Yeah, completely. You have that Nova Scotia League being announced a few weeks ago. Senior hockey is alive and well. There's a great senior league in PEI, great senior hockey in Newfoundland. It's flourishing, booming in New Brunswick, 3 leagues. I love it. I can't wait to get out and support it some. Hopefully get out and support some of the other leagues in New Brunswick too this year. So
that'd be nice.
But for the most part, we're going to focus on our own backyard and focus on the BSHL. If we're talking about opening weekend, what rink do you want to get to the worst? Like, what do you miss the most? Where do you want to be the most?
Man, my answer is going to be sad.
River Valley?
Dope Town. I'm going to miss those burgers. No, really, I don't know why Miramichi. Miramichi really, really grew on me. Love the arena. Love the food there. Love the heckling fans.
Hilarious.
Just every time where we sit, there's a group of guys that just heckle the hell out of the opposing team, and it's hilarious. We do not partake, by the way. We're just there grinning and laughing.
Try not to laugh. We try to hold it back sometimes.
Try to hold it back. So some of these guys are clever. They are clever, and they're like, sometimes it's not even insulting. It's just funny. I'm curious to see what the Amherst Arena is going to look like.
I can't wait to get to the stadium. Yeah, the Amherst Stadium is pretty wicked. I would say I can't wait to get back to the JK. I love Bucktush. I love the JK Irving Arena. It's just a beautiful rink.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm hoping opening weekend, if Dalhousie has a home game, we'll get to Dalhousie for their first home game, being the champions. I think it's only right that we find our way to Dalhousie opening weekend, and I think that's very high on my list because, man, great fans, great people. I miss Dalhousie. So I'm probably going to say those are my two, either Bucktush or Dalhousie. And knowing that Bucktush normally plays on Sundays, I've never seen them play on a Saturday. It's Friday or Sunday. And Dalhousie always plays on Saturdays. There's a damn good chance that we can get to Bucktush and to Dalhousie opening weekend, hopefully. So that is the goal. It's going to depend on what opening weekend falls on. I'm going to see the Vampire Circus. I think it's the 13th or something, the Sunday. That Sunday in the early teens at the casino. And that historically is when the season starts. It's either that weekend or the following weekend. So part of me is hoping it only starts the following weekend so that I don't have to miss any hockey at all. But
well, luckily for you,
I'm
not going to the vampire thing. So I'll be going to the hockey games.
You prick. You'll get some video for me and share it, and I'll be sitting there watching the Vampire Circus magic show. And like
Vampire Circus. It's a magic show?
It's a magic show, yeah. It's like a circus and magicians. I don't know. It's trippy looking. It's very Halloween-esque. I can't wait for it. But if it clashes with the opening weekend of the BSHL, I am going to be so frustrated with myself.
I'm going to take a video of me eating a popcorn chicken poutine and saying...
Don't do that. Get the poutine with the popcorn chicken on the side. That'll really taunt me.
There you go. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that and take a video and say like, hey, Corey, how are your vampires? Because the poutine here is great.
Do it with Alex Collette in the background, and it'll really kill me. It's like one of my favorite foods in the league, one of my favorite goalies in the league. It'll drive me insane. I hope I don't know. It's going to be a crazy weekend. We're looking forward to it already. Only a couple months away. So there's been some big signings, but let's look at teams. So the JCs haven't announced their import yet.
No.
The Peninsula has announced their import. Dalhousie's announced their import, Pascal Valcourt. The Peninsula we talked about earlier, which was announced. Miramichi has not. Elsipogtog has not, and Amherst has. So half the teams have. Thomas Casey is an import for the Amherst team.
Isn't Jason Ryu an import?
Import goalie.
Import goalie, okay.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry. They have announced an import goalie. Danny Chiasson back in the Peninsula this year as an import. And then, we have Pascal Valcourt, of course, back as an import. So there's some big name imports still out there right now.
Yeah.
Namely Peter Traynor. I've been messaged about Peter Traynor a couple times this week. People going, do you think he lands on one of the teams? Somebody was like, I'd love to see him on the Hawks. He'd be amazing as a Hawk. Somebody else said, I'd love to see him in Miramichi.
He's a wild card right now.
So here's my question. Do you think we see Bernier go back to Miramichi as an import? Or do you think we see him land in Bucktouche to play with his brother? Does that, if he ends up in Bucktouche to play with his brother, does that open up a spot for Peter Traynor in Miramichi?
Jeez, that's a good question there. I think if Peter Traynor doesn't find himself on a team in the BSHL, I think the fans lose there. It doesn't matter if it's with the Hawks, doesn't matter if it's with Miramichi.
Or the JCs.
Or the JCs. Peter Traynor needs to play this year.
He could play in the Southern League. He could play in the Southern League.
Yeah, but we don't see the Southern League as much.
I know. But I think about adding him to like Tri-County, man. They could become a pretty scary team.
They could.
But I really want to see Peter Traynor back in the BSHL. I'm not going to lie. I love that guy. I love watching him play. His family's super nice. They were sitting in front of us a couple times last year. They're super nice.
They were sitting right next to me as I was doing the stream.
Those poor buggers had to put up with you the whole time.
They seem to be okay with it.
Because they weren't next to me. That would have been even worse. Corey, let's get back to wrestling. How was your day on Sunday? Because I'll tell you from my view, but the happiest I've seen you in a long time. You were having a blast. You did that interview with New Hook. I think you felt really good about that. That went well. It was a great day. Talk to me a little bit about it.
It's no secret I always wanted to be a part of professional wrestling in one way or another. Honestly, I didn't know I wanted to be a part of hockey as well, senior hockey. And that was
You didn't even know what senior hockey was 5 years ago.
No, I did not. Now I'm enjoying that. I've always been a wrestling fan. I know more about wrestling than I know about myself. And they allowed me to do an interview with Justin Newhook. Ethan Knight came in and said I was a Make-A-Wish kid. I think I'm like 10 years older than him. So Make-A-Wish kid, sure. I'm proud of what we all accomplished that day, just helping out and being able to do that interview in a way fulfilled one of my dreams.
How tired were you the next day?
That night I was overtired. I was trying to go to sleep and my body was fatigued. I was exhausted. My legs were killing me. and I was like falling asleep and like waking back up from adrenaline because I kept thinking about the day. I got stung by a bee too,
Yeah,
which was horrible.
It was one of those things where you're so busy and you're doing things you don't notice how tired you're getting, and then you finish the day and you have like 20,000 steps, and you're like, "Holy crap, I'm tired right now." Great day. We had a lot of fun.
A couple of memories from that. One is jumping in the car with Corey, and he's like, "I'm hungry. McDonald's, you win." I'm like, "Yes."
If you would have said no, I was going anyway. You just sat in the car. I don't know.
And we go to I remember just biting into that Big Mac and just thinking, this is the greatest thing ever. Another memory from me, we recorded the show, and Corey was taking pictures. And I'm seeing Corey jog around the ring, taking gear and bringing it to the back and making sure the turnbuckles are tightened up. Like, this was great for me, but you seemed like you were having a blast too. You talked to me about how that day went.
Yeah, it was fun. I've always been a wrestling fan. I mean, going back, I have memories of going to see WWF shows with my father when I was like 7 or 8 or 6. So I've always loved it. He used to sit downstairs with my great grandfather in this very house. The house that I own now is where was my great grandparents' house. So in my great grandparents' living room, watching TBS, watching WCW Saturday night. So a lot of my early memories. Here's how dumb I was. All right, you ready for this story? I used to think, so wrestling, something was happening just off camera purposely, and I wanted to see it. So I went and stood at the side of the TV to see if I could get a better angle and see what was going on over there. I was crazy about wrestling. So being able to take some pictures and get virtually leaning into the ring to get some of the shots, it was fun. It was really cool. I'm sure I'll get the opportunity, hopefully, to do it again, and I would happily do it. But yeah, I did indeed jog a little bit. What are you going to do? When you see the finishing move coming and you can tell they're lining up for it and you're on the wrong side of the ring, the panic that sets into your body when you're the one that's going to take that picture, because you're like, shit, here's my chance to get a picture of this power bomb. I really want to get a good angle. So yeah, you run and you almost knock some guy over and you do what you got to do. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Laughed about it afterwards. I think Joel also had a great time. Our other Wrestling with the Bros buddy, he was shooting video in the other corner. And it was a great day, long day. Always fun to hang around with you two guys, of course. Always a pleasure. Rose was there as well. Always love hanging around with her. She's such a sweet person. Yeah. So we had a lot of fun. It was great to sit and chat with the guys, but especially great to hang out with you buttholes.
One thing, I certainly hope that they come back to New Brunswick, because
what a show they put on.
They put on a fantastic show.
Like, as a wrestling fan, I was taking pictures, so I wasn't really able to fully enjoy the show how I normally would. But at one point, we hit the intermission. I was like, "Holy crap! This has been a phenomenal card so far." And I knew that the women's match was coming up, and I knew the main event was coming up. So there was no slowing down. That was one of the best cards I've seen this year.
Yeah, I have to 100. It might have been the best card this year. I think that main event of Justin Newhook and Ethan Knight. These two guys a year ago were both in a tag team, the Heathens and Sabotage, and now they're main eventing this show, and they don't seem out of place at all. They look like they belong in the main event.
I'm going to say one of my favorite shows, because Charlie Hubley and Chip Chambers was special. In my heart, those are two of my favorite Maritime wrestlers. Seeing those guys go at it for the first time in Charlie's last match in the Maritimes for now. There's been a lot. It's like I can't even take away from this show and say it wasn't the best show. I just have to say there's been so much good wrestling in Southern New Brunswick that it's hard to pick a great show.
Yep.
Been amazing matches on every card. I mean, you think about that North Pro show, Mike Bailey, my God, Bailey and Silva tore it down. Every show we've been to this summer has had some phenomenal matches. So kudos,
incredible,
giving us all that high quality entertainment and helping the time pass until hockey season. What are we going to do this winter when we want to go to these wrestling shows? We've got hockey. You've got to make poutines and sit in your house. How are we going to be able to do it all?
Well, gonna have to pick and choose what you really want to go see.
Oh man, it's gonna be tough. I can't wait for it. You know that if
tough.
you go to wrestling, you're gonna get ribbed though.
Oh yeah.
And then if you go to hockey, you're gonna get ribbed too. So it's a lose-lose.
I'm used to getting ribbed. I have a best friend named Corey.
One of many best friends.
One of many best friends. You and Connor Smith, like the two broken records.
Oh man, I love Connor.
72 best friends.
I love Connor. We just recorded a video for Your Maritime Warrior channel that's going to come out in the next few weeks on our favorite WrestleManias, and I think that was like an hour long ish.
Yeah,
I had so much fun talking with you and Connor about our favorite WrestleManias. Well, and ribbing everyone. But we had that was a blast. This has been a fun one too. We always have fun when we get on, but that was a special one. I really enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, and that was a Connor Smith idea. That wasn't an idea. It was Connor Smith had that idea. Let's do our favorite WrestleManias, and I was like, sure, I'm down for whatever.
It was
so
brilliant.
Credit to Connor Smith, another wrestling fan that knows his stuff about wrestling, and I think he knows a little bit about hockey too. You think?
I mean, a little bit. He's been able to put a couple teams together over the years. Man, we love ribbon on Connor. All right, Corey, thanks for being here. We'll be back.
Having me.
I think we're going to be starting our team previews probably next week, I guess. Looking at the calendar based on early October, we'll have to start it either next week or the week after. But I think we're going to try to start it next week. I don't know what team we're going to start with.
I don't know. We're going to have a long discussion about that.
A really hard discussion. And we'll figure that out. But thanks for listening. Come on back next week, and we will be starting our season previews. So thanks for being here. Talk to you soon.
Take care.